Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. It's Thursday and it's time for another Things We're Making Thursday. It's December. It is the first Thursday of December. Holy cow. So we're doing something different. This month we are working on holiday of choice, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever holiday you want to work with and deal with. Do something that inspires you along that line. For me, I'm going to be doing Christmas. Let's see. Oh, yeah. What's Things We're Making Thursday? It's a wonderful collaboration of a bunch of talented content creators and non-content creators alike, where there's a theme of things that we're working on. And like I said, December is holiday of choice. And then we show each other what we've got once a week, and that's our Thursdays. And if you want to follow along to see what any other content creators are making, follow that hashtag Things We're Making Thursday, TWMT. Why do I have to think about it so hard? I do not know, but every week I do that. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do, is show some Christmas ornaments because our tree's up. It's got lights on it. It's a pre-lit tree, okay? My husband was wonderful, and he immediately put those up this year. Yeah, we have two. First time we've ever had, this house is the first time we've had two trees, and we have those because where we were putting the tree originally on the main floor is we didn't want to move the TV, and you know how TVs have gotten bigger and bigger, they just take up your whole wall. Well, we didn't want to move the TV. We didn't want to rearrange everything. So it looked like it's not a huge space. So I got one of those tall, skinny, straight up trees, right? I guess it's more towards a pencil tree, and it's fine. And we liked it, and we got it white flocked. I'm really into that white flocking this last couple of years. Crazy. And it looks great, but it was just, even though there wasn't a ton of space there, it still looked just too small. So we did get another tree and we put it there, and then we just moved that one upstairs. So that's, what are you gonna do, throw it away? No, it's beautiful, it looks great. So we have the two trees. So the one tree upstairs, the one that's the pencil tree, is decorated with all handmade items. Now, I might put some other things like the little holly berries and stuff like that, a little bit of greenery on it because it is a white tree. But I like that with the decorated with the greenery and some red berries. And most of the ornaments that I have are red in nature. So that's that. So it's time to pull out all of the wonderful ornaments, or at least some of them. I'll show some of them this week. So these, I was using the pattern by Sarah Schira, and you may know her if you've ever decided you wanted to build a gnome, to make a knit gnome online, right? She is all over Ravelry. She's got a wonderful book out on gnomes, gnome knitting and everything. So if you just look at Ravelry and just type in gnome, this is just typing in gnome. This isn't even typing in her. And she's got all but one of them that you just saw on that is hers. And I just typed in gnome. So she's got quite a variety of gnomes. And that's what I followed. So this, a little Santa gnome, it's going on the tree. And this is what I meant by the majority of mine are that beautiful red and just stunning. This is the Never Not Gnoming. I believe this was her first one, and I fell in love with it. I don't know how many of these I made. At one point, I had the pattern memorized. I remember going to knit night. It's knit and crochet. We just call it knit night. So going to knit night for our annual Christmas parties, where a bunch of our friends get together and we have a Christmas party. Imagine that, right? And just having fun and enjoying each other's company. And being that I had memorized the pattern, I had my needles with me and I had the yarns, because it really doesn't take a lot of yarn at all. And during the course of the party, I made a gnome and I gave it to the hostess. And that's what I was doing. And then, yeah, it took a couple hours, but come on, it's a girl's Christmas party. It's going to be a couple hours. So I thought that was great. Can I make one in a couple hours now? Probably not. If I decided that I want to make a bunch of them again, and hubby claims all of them, by the way, he does. I've given some away, but he claims all of them. So if I wanted to do that again and get that quick again, I would probably have to make 3 or 4 of them I would have the pattern in my head easily. I would have it memorized and everything. And, you know, just that kind of a, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've got this. And then kind of an assembly line, so to speak. Although I would do one at a time. I wouldn't do them, you know, I wouldn't do like 12 arms and then you could, but I'd be afraid I'd lose them, right? So I had my stuff and everything. And this one has been my favorite. The other one that I used, and I forget which one this is, and I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Will I make another one? No, I won't. As I like to put it, the juice was not worth the squeeze for me. Okay. This is stunning. Now, the pattern calls for the entire body to have that wonderful cable, and I love cables, but that was a lot of twisted stitches, tiny needles, etc. Big long hat. I mean, the hat's cool, right? You know, you just pull this over like that. The hat is really cool. And look at the, there we go. Look at the beard. Look at that. You get some dimensional and everything. I mean, what's not to love? This is amazing. The whole body of it was supposed to have that. I'm like, no. By the time I did the hat, I was done. And I made these years ago. I didn't just make this week, okay? So I made these years ago. This is, you know, our Christmas stuff. And this gnome is beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. And looking on Ravelry, tons of people made it, executed it. It looks phenomenal. They did a great job. I would like to say my goal was to make multiple of these because I think it is absolutely stunning. I just made the one. And that is it. So that one is, I'm pulling it up so you can see a bigger picture. That is Here We Gnome Again. And so you can see how the little body is supposed to, see? The little body is supposed to have those cross stitches and everything in there too. Yeah, I just, no. Which is sad because, again, I really wanted to have a bunch of them. I really, really did. I thought it was fabulous. Now, these are all paid for patterns for hers. I don't know if she's ever had any or it plans on it or anything along that line of any discounts, freebies, or anything that way. She does have, let's see her gnome book online. If I can pull Amazon up quickly, I'll tell you how much it is. I do not own it, so it's not like, hey, get it or don't get it, because, you know, we all like different things. But I'm going to search it. Oh, I've got that 52 dishcloths searched up right now. Nope. All right, so nope. And if you gnome Christmas decorations, gnome ornaments, I don't know. Let's see. Will that one bring it up to her? No, it won't. That's not knit. It got put in the knit. I forget that not everyone realizes, or not everything realizes, when I'm searching for something, it's knit and it's crochet, right? And you know, real world doesn't really care. They're weird. They're off. They're off. It's not me. It's them. Gnome knitting. Gnome knitting book. That'll bring it up. Okay, so this is Gnomes of Grimblewood and the Enchanting Friends to Knit Full of Magic and Mischief. This right now. Okay. And I'm just showing this to you. I don't get any kickbacks in any way, shape, or form. I'm not affiliated. But if you are interested in said book, it is listed right now at $15.97 on Amazon. It is a $21.95 book, $21.95. And if you want the Kindle edition, it's listed at $17.51. Go for it if you want to. Abstain if you want to. But then the other cool thing, if you look through Amazon, if you have the Amazon Kindle, there are multiple gnome books. They're not the same as Sarah's, obviously, but there's multiple gnome books and gnome patterns that you can get in the Kindle app for free, right? I mean, it's not really free because you're paying for the Kindle Unlimited, right? So there are options as far as that goes. And then you can also do some searches. There are a lot of free patterns for gnomes too. You don't have to pay for a pattern if you choose not to, right? I mean, buy yarn, right? So those are the ones that I have. Now, I did make quite a few in the year that I was making these. Most of these were made in the same year, and I don't know what year that was, but I made a whole bunch of them. I had like my memorized little assembly line. I'm going to show you my husband's favorite. This one is his favorite. It's his little German gnome. He likes the German colors, and this is just leftover stock yarn. You can see how tiny this is. Oh, look. I have a scale. I'm going to weigh it. Now, it is stuffed. This one does not have the little plastic pellets in it. I do have some of them that have that plastic little weighted polyfill pellets. right? So then they hang better, right? Because this is so light. Let's see, how much does this weigh with stuffing completely done? That thing is 8.6 grams. That's tiny. That's, so you know what I'm getting at. That's a tiny little bit of yarn. You know what? For a matter of fact, with that amount and everything, I have all of those Tangled Poet yarns from the pickle jar refills. Oh, and I do have my Tangled Poet advent calendar. Definitely, this will be at the end, day 5. This will be at the end for everyone who doesn't want to be surprised. I will not just pull it out. I will warn, okay? So, yeah, I'm excited. I haven't looked either. But this right here, being 8.5 grams, completely done with stuffing, I could use one of those little minis that I've got from the Tangled Poets, you know, because those are like 6 grams, little tiny, just little snippets of yarn. Because, well, obviously the white weighs something, the little nose weighs something, the little arms weigh something, and I have a full skein of that I've used every one of them. I call it the nose color. It's a great beige, it's the great size, it's the great weight, right? So that's the one that I use for that. But just little snippets of leftover yarn. This is by far his favorite. This one I think is a lot of fun. The little girls will like this. And I had some fuzzy yarn. I don't know what yarn that is, but look at that. Look how fuzzy that is. Leftovers are fantastic. And you know, if you get one of the patterns, I'm pretty sure she's got it in multiple sizes. I always made the small size with the fingering weight yarn. You could make it with whatever weight. And she does describe that. I haven't looked at the pattern recently, but she does describe that on how big your gnome will be if you use the different yarns. People have done that, and then they put, because this is the flat bottom right here. Here you can see that. Yeah, you can see that's got that pearl edge. So that's the flat bottom. And this, you can see that one. That's the rounded bottom. I know Hare's, it's been in the bin with all sorts of other yarns, but that's the rounded bottom. So you have other choices, which are fun. But these are my Christmas stuff. I do have more. I'm just trying to pull them out of one of those bins, what they live in throughout the year. Loving these. We know I've made socks, and this is some of the leftover from some of the Christmas sock yarn that I've had. And what a fantastic use with that Fair Isle. Just, you know, it does its own thing. And I used the flat bottom for both of these. And these have, yeah, these, can we hear it? I don't know if that picked it up or not, but it has some of the plastic pellets in it. So I did a little bit of both, stuffing and some of the plastic pellets. And that's just to weight it down to where they're just not so light that when you hang it up, it's going to be like this anyway, because it's so, there's nothing to hold it down in place on the tree. So I do like to put a little bit of stuffing in. And you can see all the little arms and legs, and arms or little hands and nose is just that beige yarn that's just perfect. Let's see, those are the only ones that I grabbed out of my bin. I do have more, and I have other Christmas ornaments throughout the month. I'll grab my other ones and show those that I've made through over the years, having fun with that. I do, like I was saying with this what I call the nose color, I have a couple skeins of that, and I got that as when Big Lots had some yarn, and Big Lots just labels it as Gala mixed yarn. Or other places, you may have gotten some Gala, G-A-L-A, mixed yarn from Premier. That's just mill end type situations. It's not labeled as what it really is. So I'm not sure what yarn it was, what brand or anything. Feels like an acrylic, but it's just perfect. So I've kept that for years, and that is that one ball is going to last me forever. And one year, that's funny. We all the people in my knitting group, we bought this yarn right here, this Fair Isle yarn, to make gnomes. And everyone bought them. You can make multiple gnomes with 100 grams of yarn, definitely. And I wound off a bunch of the nose color for everybody, these bobbins of yarn. So I was like, you can make it whatever you want to, but if you want some of this, here you go. And everyone got a bobbin of nose yarn, right? Not nose candy. No, not that. Nose yarn. So everyone got that. Why not? I thought it was really cute. And then this is another, look at that. It's glitter. It's got texture. And I've got a couple skeins of this too. And same thing. I love that for the Santa's beards and just that texture. And I've kept that around. I mean, these I had with others, but this one with the red is spectacular. And getting a good red in a sock yarn, solid red, whoo, that's a little bit. That takes a little bit. That's some searching right there. And I do have some more of this, and I keep that for my ornaments so that I can make more of the ornaments, because sometimes we give them away. Normally when my husband's not looking, okay? You know, someone will say something. I know my mother-in-law has one or two of them. Hubby's like, no, those are mine. Like I said, he claims them all. He loves the gnomes. Those are his. He's like, that's my toys. Those are mine. So it's time to pull all this stuff out. And I don't know, maybe I'll count all the gnomes, because that's not all of them. I'll count all the gnomes and let you guys know how many I have. But I've got some other things. I even have some ornaments, I think, that are about 15, 20 years old. Yeah, some crocheted Christmas stockings that I made. They're about this big, made out of worsted weight yarn. And yeah, I've made those stockings since I was a little girl, like teenager, right? I've made those, and I used to give them to my classmates. Mom raised me that way. Mom raised me that, you know, to be generous. Mom raised me to give to others, and I used to do that. I'd put a candy cane in them and give them away. That was just something that I enjoy doing. Well, so much so, even in the military, one of the first duty stations that I was at in the military, it's Christmas time, I ended up making and selling 100. I sold them for $1 each. It's a long time ago. And I made and sold 100 of them, and I put a candy cane in each one, and I donated the money to our unit's Christmas party fund. So we could do things, as, you know, for all the soldiers and everything, you know, that didn't have family around. Oh, wait, like me, because in the military, you're not around your family, you're around the military. And yeah, so I took my love of crafting with me wherever I went. It was always there, and it always reminded me of home, and it always reminded me of my mom. And that was the thing when I went into the military that I absolutely missed the most. It wasn't a place or anything. It was sitting at the kitchen table with my mom. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like, oh, I miss this food, I miss this, I miss that. No, sitting at the kitchen table with my mom, she would be working on hand sewing her quilts, and I would be working on my crocheting. And we would talk, and we would not talk. And it was never an uncomfortable silence. It was just, we were there together, and we were working on our crafts together, and we just enjoyed each other's company. And that by far was the thing I absolutely missed the most when I went into the military. My first duty station was Germany, so it's not like I got to come home, right? You know, this was a long time ago, right? So that's those fond memories. So, you know, just the crafting and the ornaments and stuff. So I'll bring those out, and I'll show some of those. And I say 15 to 20 years old, but I think some of them are older. I can't say that I made some of those as a teenager, but some of those might be, you know, or you know, in my 20s or something. So they've got some age on them. I know the crocheted snowflakes definitely have some age. So are we ready to find out what is in day 5 of the Tangled Poets Advent Calendar? I have not peeked. I have not looked. I did not want to know in advance. I want to be absolutely surprised like everybody else. I'm going to go ahead and hold up days 1 through 4 just so you can see them again, and I will announce before I pull out number 5, because I know other people watch that have the calendar that, you know, haven't opened theirs yet, and I don't want to ruin that surprise. So 3, 2, 1, I'm going to go hold up 1 through 4. There we go. Here is 1 through 4, right? So here's day 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you know what's really interesting is, to me, this really looks like that royal deep blue purple, and then, you know, with the dark and everything. Yeah, and it's coming off on the camera like that too. And I was watching other people's advents, to include opening up this particular one, and theirs looked more purple, more like purple and black. So it is beautiful with, and I don't know if it's the cameras, right? It is beautiful with the advents. It's all hand dyed, so everyone's going to get the same but different, and that is fantastic. So looking forward to that. I do know that it's supposed to be a fade of multiple colors that blend into each other. I just don't want to know all the details right now, right? I mean, I read it and it's in one ear, not the other, right? I'm like, okay, cool. So here is number 5, and 3, 2, 1, pulling it out. All right, so I gave plenty of time for anyone who didn't want to look. Okay, that's interesting. All right. So I'm wondering how this fade's going to go, but you know what? I really don't care. I know that's funny. Look at this. What do you think? I'm thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled with everything about this particular kit. It is my first time having the kit, which if you've been around, you've heard me say that, of an advent calendar. These are 30-gram hanks, so there's a lot that you can do with them. There will be 24 30-gram hanks, and then one at the end, which is a 100-gram hank of yarn. And I can make gorgeous things with them. Now, a couple patterns came with it. If I wanted to make the largest shawl in the pattern, they said I wouldn't be able to do the largest shawl and the pair of socks. It's okay, I got plenty of sock yarn. Okay, not a problem. But yeah, this is stunning. And who says I'm going to make that particular shawl? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out what all the yarn looks like, you know, day by day, just like everyone else, before I make any decisions, because it's that time of year where I have enough things on the hooks and needles that I need to work with, that I deal with. I put it back down, by the way, for anyone who didn't want to look, so I'm not going to show that anymore. So you're welcome to come back in and look. So I don't know what I want to make with those beautiful colors. It is interesting with these last two, with those 3 purples, you know, it's like, that's pretty cool. They're beautiful. It's going to be fun. But so what project? I'm not sure. There's a, let me see if I have it favorited. I know I have it favorited. I did tease, not to be mean or funny or whatever. I teased a pattern that I saw on Ravelry, and it is a paid for pattern. I don't have a problem with paid for patterns. I prefer to have them free, but okay, let's face it, somebody put a lot of time and energy and effort into said pattern, so I'm not going to begrudge them the finances for their work. So this is an advent calendar project that was designed in 2022. It's Kabuter Advent Trui. Okay, I totally massacred that. It's $10.99 for the pattern, and it is not in English, which is why I don't own it. It's patterns, okay. Yeah, it's not in English. All right, let me show you what this looks like. Look at that. You're like, okay, it's just a top. Yeah, big deal. What? Okay, so, all right, we know the yellows is what gets me. I get it. But it's not just the yellows. Okay, so here's the designer. I'm assuming that's the designer. It's got these cute little front pockets. I know that's optional. Look at this. This is what gets me. Look, you've got short rows. You've got fun stuff. Look at the way those individual pieces are stacking up on that sweater. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely stunning. And, you know, obviously I have no idea how this particular Advent's going to line up with their colors. Doesn't matter. But that caught my attention. It really, really did. I just think that is fabulous. And I think part of it is I had talked about, and I just looking at Advent things is how I found this. And I had talked about that previously when I got the Tangled Poet, the little 6-gram minis that I got, you know, I had like 50 of them or something like that, to make something with it. And I wanted it to be that highlights each individual color. And I commented that it would be really nice to have a neutral of some sort, be it white or black or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I didn't think about it, but you want to put that mustardy yellow and everything in between everything, I'm here for it too, right? We know I like that color. But this is what I had in mind. No, I didn't design this, and I hadn't seen this before, but I mean, this kind of a thing, because you definitely see it on the back. She is highlighting every single mini that she uses. And I'm pretty sure her minis are more than 6 grams. But point is, she's highlighting every one with her main 100-gram skein of yarn. I'm all for that, right? You know, and I know I'm going to have, I'm not holding it up. Okay, I know I'm going to have all those gorgeous colors for this Advent. And I did reach out to her. I did reach out, you know, through Ravelry and everything. Hey, I would love said pattern. I just speak English only. Sorry, that's me, you know. And I asked if she was going to translate it or anything like that. That's on the list for 2025. that doesn't mean she'll get around to it, because you know what? We all have lives, and you know, not everything is the way we want it to be as fast as somebody else working for something. But if she does, I will buy it. Whether I make it or not, it's not the point. I will buy it and I will read it like a good book. That is how I am. I will definitely read it and enjoy every minute of looking through the pattern and how she executed it. That to me is amazing. So I think that is fabulous. If you find a pattern kind of like that and that's done in English, send it to me. Like not literally send me the pattern. I'll buy the pattern. That's not what I meant. But you know, send me the pattern name so I can go look it up. That's what I meant. You know, I'm not trying to violate any copyright things. But yeah, send me the name so I can look it up and find that, because that is fabulous. I don't know if she has that graded on sizes and anything. You know how that is. I mean, pattern, there's a lot that goes into writing a pattern. I have absolutely no idea. I just know that it's not in English, so I'd have an issue. Depending on the pattern and how it's written, I can muddle through other languages because I know how things are generally structured for English, you know, and I can kind of muddle through, especially if there's pictures. I have no idea with this, if there's pictures, graphs, or schematics, or any of that other stuff, so I just didn't want to take the chance. Although I could buy it anyway, take the chance, and then how Ravelry works, if she puts out said English version, I would be good with that too. So I don't know. Anyway, that's for a later date. With that, I'm going to go ahead. I have been talking about yarn. I get so fired up, man, I tell you what. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.